Michelina. Good, and you?
Very well, thank you. So that's going to be really exciting because we're doing this live in English today. That's super exciting.
Yes. Yeah, very exciting. So first of all, good afternoon, everybody. It's been a while since I've last been here. So for those who don't know me, I'm Isa, and I work for Information Planet Melbourne. And today I'm here with Michelle, and we're going to talk about two very popular English tests, IELTS and PTE.
Correct. And
So
nice to
to
meet you,
begin
Isabella.
with, nice to meet you too officially. Michelle, just to get started, could you introduce yourself to our watchers?
Yes, guys. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Sanders. And I think the reason why we're doing this live in English here is because I know that we have Information Planet has clients all over Australia that speak English as well. So we want to make sure that no one is left out of this amazing live that we're going to have today. So I have been in Australia for 23 years, and I have gone, like you guys, like many migrants I have gone through the whole process of being able to be recognized as an English teacher in Australia. So I think in a way, I know very much about proficiency exams. I know how to help you guys achieve the proficient scores that you guys need. And I'm here to really emphasize the need of preparation. Don't believe that because you speak English, you will be able to get an amazing score, because preparation is the key. So, as I said, I'm a Queensland registered teacher. I teach English inside the Australian high schools, and I have been working with exams since 2001. So my original exam was the IELTS, and now I crossed over to the PTE as well, not just the IELTS, but I can teach all of them. And that's it.
That's great. So guys, please, let's use all the knowledge Michelle has about the tests today. And you can put your questions here. We're going to go through it as we're talking about topics. And Michelle and I were having a quick chat before we joined the live, and we're going to use myself as a case study today.
A case study.
Just to show you all, yeah, just to show you all the importance of preparation for this kind of exams. So for those who are Portuguese speakers and would like to check the live that Michelle had with Alana last week from IP Gold Coast, it's saved here in our bio, so you can just go check it out. But today is for English speakers. As Michelle said, we have lots of followers here in Australia that speak English, but Information Planet is also present in some European countries. So
that's brilliant. So I think it's fundamental
yeah,
to have this live in English as well. Okay, so
yes, it is.
I think, as you said, I am going to use you as the case study, but I also want to use native speakers as a case study as well. So we work, I am based inside a migration office here on the Gold Coast. And we have clients from all over the world. And I want to assure you guys that we have native speakers, for instance, people from South Africa, people from Canada, that are unable to achieve the scores, like higher scores, you know, compared, you know, like, so for example, what is a higher score? An IELTS 7 is a higher score. A PTE 79 is a very, very high score. So, and when I'm talking to you guys, there is a massive difference between getting a PTE 50 and the amount of preparation that you need for a PTE 50 compared to a PTE 79, or even an IELTS 6 compared to an IELTS 7, or even to in relation to an IELTS 8. So today we got the news of a guy from South Africa that he was unable, native speaker, okay, that he was unable to reach a band 9 in speaking. Did you hear what I said? He's a native speaker,
Yeah.
and he did not get a 9 in speaking. You got 8.5, he got 8.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
So,
and at the same time,
insane.
we also had a client from Scotland that she was unable to get the score that she needed in the PTE exam, not even a 50. Why? Because she didn't know how to do the exams. So I think the live today, we're going to be talking about, you know, how to maximize your score on these exams, but also the need for preparation. I think the preparation for everyone who really wants to migrate to Australia, to go to university, is fundamental, right? So, Isabella,
Yes.
come on, lead the line.
I think that the most asked question is for sure, what are the differences between the PTE and the IELTS, like structural differences of the tests?
Okay, I just want to say here, what a dream. I am Portuguese English teacher in Brazil and dream to be a teacher here. Don't feel much confidence that may happen, but pursuing it little by little. You're an inspiration, girls. That's wonderful. And to be honest with you,
Yeah.
it is possible. It is possible for you to achieve your dreams. And as I was saying to you guys before, I'm an English teacher inside an Australian high school. And I work with secondary, and so secondary education. And believe me, every single day I was being tested, not just my English, but also my ability to teach. And imagine, like, whoever is here, imagine if you have somebody who is not a native speaker in your country teaching the language of your country. So imagine the pressure that you suffer, and it's absolutely possible. It is absolutely possible, but there is a lot of diligence, a lot of, you need to be really diligent with your studies, and you have to read a lot, and you have to really, really push yourself to the highest level as you can,
Yeah.
But the difference between the IELTS and the PT, right? So this is the basics question. And I see
Just
that I
let
have
me tell Aline, don't give up. If you can dream, you can do it. Focus
Absolutely.
and follow the path.
Look, I have some of my students in this live here right now. And one of the students, two of them, so both of them did IELTS with me. And one of them is now doing PTE with me. And what is the difference between an IELTS and a PTE? The PTE made it more possible for you to achieve the higher bands. So for example, this South African guy that he needed all sevens and he was unable to reach the 7 because he failed the reading, the writing. I told him, I'll take you because the PTE will allow you to get the highest band. So it took away the examiner component of the exam. So the IELTS exam, you're going to be analyzed, your speaking is going to be analyzed by an examiner, and the writing will be also analyzed by an examiner. The PTE will not do that. And it's going to be a computer analyzing your English ability. So like, for example, as I said to you, he was an IELTS 8 in his speaking. For God's sakes, he's a native speaker. How can you become an IELTS 8 if I'm an IELTS 9? So it means that I know how to do the exam. He didn't know how to do the exam. So there is a way for you to kind of do the exam, So the PTE will take this examiner component, and it's going to be your true ability of your English. So the computer will listen to the rhythm of your voice. The computer will listen to the tone of your voice. So you need to know how to use those skills to maximize your score. So for instance, I had a student, so let's talk about the PTE 79, okay? So she came to me with a score of, her speaking was 58. So speaking 58 means that she was a 6.5 in the IELTS, okay? Which I don't think she would get 6.5 in the IELTS, to be honest with you. We did private classes, we did 7 classes, and she was able to get to the 7 and 9 in 7 classes. Impossible. I would have never taken an IELTS 6.5 to an IELTS 8 in 7 classes in speaking. So what did I do? I actually taught her how to make the computer, how to focus, how to use her voice so the computer would listen to her, assess her English, and maximize her score. It was all about the tone of voice. Her tone of voice.
Using technology in your favor.
Exactly. Not convincing the examiner of your point of view, but using your tone of voice and your rhythm and your oral fluency to be able to maximize your score. And to be honest with you, her pronunciation was very poor. Something that she would struggle in the IELTS exam. So what is the basic difference? The IELTS exam is a very intelligent exam, extremely intelligent. And actually, I would say that, if you come from, if you're not a fast person in reasoning, it might be a bit of a difficult exam for you to get a high score, okay? The PTE is a mechanical exam. So a lot of people who suffer from anxiety, for instance, and they are not really fast people, sometimes the PTE is not a very good exam for that person because it requires speed. So do you understand what I'm saying, Isabella? Like, let me know, because
Yeah.
sometimes I just go, bah, 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 you know.
I know.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Yeah.
so one exam is quite, so the IELTS is quite, you need to have something called higher order thinking. Your ability to really connect with your, okay, this question, what is this question saying to me? What does it mean? Okay, I need to look for this in the text. Boom, go look for it, right? The PTE
I
is
think
more
it's very contextualized. For I can only speak for IELTS. I've never
go
taken the PTE.
contextualize. Tell me about that. What do you mean?
Yeah, especially like the reading. As I said, I haven't taken the PTE, but for the reading in the IELTS, you really need to put your grammar knowledge to test. Not like this word means that. That's the word I'm going to use here. Like sometimes when you're reading textbooks, they're made, you're studying present perfect. So all the text is full of present perfect. And that's not what you're going to find in a real text. And when you get to the reading exam, you have all verb tenses, all sort of words, and you need to make it all work together.
Yeah. So continue on from that point. When you read a question in the IELTS exam, you need to think about, what does this question mean? What are they saying to me? What do I need to look for? And you go straight into the text and you look for that specific information. So I would say that the IELTS exam, yes, grammar is very important, but it's much more the connection that you make with the English grammar, with the meaning of the text, rather than the grammar. The PTE is all about the vocabulary and the grammar. Like you said, you don't have much experience with the PTE, but the PTE is all about collocation, words that go together, or the PTE is all about, you know, more of a grammatical approach rather than a comprehension approach, okay? Now, so the summary of the two exams, if I have to summarize this idea, is that the PTE is mechanical. It goes for people that actually are not afraid of technology, are able to use technology in their favor. So a lot of people can be very, very shy of exams that are very fast exams. That could be a problem, but it's all about training. You train how to do these things and you're going to be fine. Okay. The IELTS will take you more to a, you know, I would say to more of a higher order thinking approach, you know, more in relation to comprehension. How do I say this? How can I really, you know, prove a point, especially in relation to the writing? For example, we were talking earlier about the IELTS 8 in writing. They will assess how you develop your answer in relation to the question. And if you run away from the subject, it's an immediate 5. The PTE, you can run away from the subject because the context, the answer, the answer to the question is just one component, but they're going to still assess your pronunciation, sorry, not pronunciation, your structure. They're going to assess your vocabulary, your grammar, and many other things. While the IELTS will give an immediate 5 because you ran away from the subject, you know?
Yeah, you failed on band. So
yeah, exactly. What else?
Yeah,
what else shall we talk about?
I think we could compare. Maybe just correct me if I'm wrong. But for this sort of examination, I think we could compare it to driving. Sometimes you may know how to drive really well, but if you're getting your license and you need to pass a test and you have an instructor next to you who's going to evaluate you, you have to drive a certain way. So correct. I think it's correct. Sort of like that.
I agree. I completely agree. And also, you don't go to a driving test without learning how to drive before, right? So you prepared yourself. Do you agree? And you learn exactly what you need to study. Like you learn the points that they're going to be assessing. So you would never, you know, you should never go to a proficiency exam without knowing what the exam requires of you, you know, and having really that ability to know, okay, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is what I need to do. So do you think I kind of answered the difference between the exams?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
I got it. guys, if you have any questions, if it's not totally clear for you, the difference between both IELTS and PTE, just write a question and we will try to go over it again.
Yes, definitely. Please ask me questions. I love questions.
And she likes hearts. Yeah, give lots of hearts.
And then my friend here, hi girlfriend, is a fellow teacher.
Oh,
who
nice.
Has also Isabella, so Barbara Mutoni, who's here, she's also an English teacher, also a Queensland teacher, who has gone through the same qualification that I have, and both of us achieved. So trust me, it's totally possible. I know that you're a fellow teacher, so please join us, join our club.
Yeah, hopefully I will really soon. Another question that we get a lot, you know, especially Brazilian people, they go to the communities, Facebook, or they have like the WhatsApp groups, and people say, you know, they heard it through the grapevines that PTE is easier than IELTS. And then they say, oh, I'm going to do PTE because it's easy than IELTS. So is it really true? Is PTE easier than IELTS?
Okay, so I need to disagree, you know, because as a professional of the field, as a person who actually really, I look at the student as a whole person. And what can I do to get this guy over the, you know, so you will pass, but I will also change your English. I will also make you improve. I will also, you know, give you the highest score that you can get within your English ability. And I truly don't believe that the PTE is for everyone. And I don't think the IELTS is for everyone, you know? So you need to kind of know your personality fits what exam. So I think the best thing is to kind of, because in my link tree, in my bio, you have a proficiency exam that will tell you, so you can do it for free. Whoever is watching this live, you can do the proficiency exam. Will show me yours. I can tell you your score right now, where you sit with your English, and there is a read aloud component that you can also do the read aloud, and I can assess you and say, look, this exam is for you, the PTE exam is for you or not. And sometimes I would say 95% of my students who go to do the graduate visa, you know, I pass them. 95% of the students have a straight pass, you know, for the graduate visa, regardless of their English ability. And I have a 63% pass rate in the PTE exam for the 50. So that's the thing. I don't, and I teach both exams. And actually my Instagram is Michelle Sanders PTE, because I believe, so my students that actually who have done IELTS with me, I take them to the PTE to push the score to 65 and 79. That's where it becomes more possible. The difference between the IELTS exam and the PTE is really the higher bands, the 65s, the 79s, which is easier, more possible to reach compared to an IELTS 8. An IELTS 8, you need to be pretty damn fluent. As I said to you in the beginning of the live, native speaker, he got 8 in the speaking, 8 in the listening, 8.5 in reading, 6.5 in the writing. So that's the point that I want to make, you know, and I told him, I will get you to get the 90s in the PTE, you know, and I couldn't do that for him in the IELTS, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think the PTE.
Styles are different.
Yeah, but I don't think the PTE is an easier exam. No, I don't.
Okay.
But
so
it is possible.
It's not easier.
No, I think, you know, and that's the thing, like Isabella, sometimes people say I didn't even study and I got a good score. Great. Congratulations. I think it's marvelous, you know, but it's not because the exam is easier. It's because it was a good exam for you and you have the English ability as well. You know, like it's like you need to. So if you have no English whatsoever, you're not going to get the score because you have no English, you know. I mean, you're going to have to study. You're going to have to study because we have native speakers doing the exams and not hitting the top mark, because you have to study, you have to know how to do the exam. That's the bottom line, you know?
Another question, like comparing not just both exams, but both exams have two versions, like the general and the academic. Is there a big gap difference between the general and the academic versions?
The PTE, it's not, the general is not accepted in Australia.
Only
so just the PTE academic, because the PTE general is ridiculous. Super easy, and it's not accepted. Now, the IELTS general and the IELTS academic. I want to tell you a story, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but until 2012, the IELTS General had the same scoring as the PT academic. We all know, I don't know if these guys were here, they know this, but so the difference between the academic, the difference between the academic IELTS and the general IELTS is in the writing and the reading. So you have two different exams, right? So the listening and the speaking for the IELTS exam, academic or general, is the same. So you're going to do the same listening if you're general, the same listening if you're academic, speaking exactly the same. But the way that they structure the exam, you have easier parts, the more difficult components, and so on. The reading is where they split. Until 2012, the reading for the general, you would get a 6 with 24 over 40 in the general. Then after 2012, it became a 30 over 40.
Ooh.
The 30 over 40 for an IELTS 6, it means that they want a person who has an intermediate English level with an advanced comprehension of English. That's where, because I have a lot of students who come to me and get 24 in the reading. The 24 in the reading used to be the true intermediate level, which is the IELTS 6. Now it's a 30 over 40, which demands you to have an advanced comprehension. So when the students are studying with me, I really need to push their English, their reading capacity, to be able to reach what used to be in 2012 a 7.
Wow.
Which is absurd. You know,
Yeah.
that's the absurd component for me in the IELTS exam, you know. But it's doable. And the graduate visa, you need average 6, no sub-score below 5. So it means that you can have 2 6s, 2 5.5s, and you're gonna be fine, you know.
Yeah, for some universities also, if you want to study a master's degree, you need to have the academic versions of the exams as well.
So the academic version would be usually it's IELTS 6 academic.
It depends. If it's something in health, for example, nursing, even if you want to study a diploma of nursing, you need to have a band 7.
They go, but you know why? Because otherwise they will not, because APRA only accepts IELTS.
Yeah.
And for you to be registered, you need to have an IELTS 7 in academics. So why, and I think this is super correct, why would they allow you to do the course if you will not be able to be registered later on?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So,
but look,
so yeah,
at the end of the day,
but
at the end of the day, I want to leave here with you guys is that the PT academic made it be like they made the 65 or the proficient English achievable for most people in a short period of time. I think that is what you need to kind of really, because I have just launched the Express 65, which is because here in Queensland, they opened the state sponsorship and they're only inviting proficient English test takers. Yeah.
Okay.
So whoever got the 65 or the IELTS 7, right? And only 30% of our clients were able to get that score. So I did the proficiency test. From those people that are in the proficiency test, if they got anything above 41, 42, it means that they have the true ability of being a 65. So I have invited these people and the classes start, my classes start on Monday, you know, but so in the proficiency test, if you're getting 41, 42, it means that you are in the true 65 band for the PT exam. So guys, everyone who's watching it, if you guys want to know where your English is right now, what level you guys are, please do my proficiency test. It's only 10 minutes. You've done it? You got,
yeah,
can I tell you
I've done it. Yeah.
Can I tell you? She got 48, guys. Woo! So chic. That's fantastic, because that shows you that you're really band 8, like a true band 8, you know. So and if I took you over to the PT, you would smash it, you know. Unfortunately for the Queensland College of
TSL does not
Teachers,
accept. Yeah,
no, they don't accept PT. No. Exactly, but they accept the ISOPR.
Oh.
Yeah, so ISOPR, which is a Queensland test, you can do it, and I think they're doing Melbourne as well. and it's for teachers, just so you know.
Okay. Because we were talking about technology earlier, IELTS has an option of being taken on a computer or paper delivered.
Computer.
Which one would you recommend?
Computer any day of the week. Computer
any day of the week.
Computer, yes.
I have to tell you that I was really apprehensive and reluctant because being a teacher, I'm kind of old school. I like paper and pen. And I said,
You can't say that. You can't say that.
I know, but even when I was writing my thesis, I had to write on a piece of paper and then put it on a computer. I don't know. I said I had a mental block. But then I took the IELTS on the computer. I took it computer delivered, and I liked it. It's not, you know, this dragon I was imagining.
No, and plus, you know, and you know why I like the computer exams, especially for the IELTS, because I have had situations when you have to transfer the answer, because you go from the booklet to the transcript to the answer sheet. So picture this. So you have questions 1 to 10 in one section. This is the listening, for instance, or even the reading. If you imagine that you left one of the answers blank, and then you went to transfer and you're so tense and you put them in the wrong spot, which has happened to my students. It means that you're gonna have half of the exam incorrectly marked because you made a mistake, an original, like a silly mistake, but that happens. With the computer, this is not going to happen because you're going to click the right answer and that's it.
And that's it.
And yeah, you don't go back to that, you know? So I think the computer exam made it more reliable. Your score will be more reliable than doing the paper one. And sometimes they don't understand your handwriting. You know, sometimes, you know, what's an I for you could look like a T for somebody else, you know? So I think it's a better idea to have the computer-based ones.
Yeah, and what I think you and Alana have discussed this in the previous conversation that you guys had. I think it's also about anxiety, and this is also part of the preparation for your exam. 10 plus years ago, I had taken a CPE test, and that's what I've known. So I said, oh, I'm gonna take this test here paper-based because it's easier, but it's actually not. I think you have to prepare yourself and test, mock, and mock. So when you get on the day of the exam, you already know what to expect.
Yeah, and I agree with you in that regard. For my PTE course, I offer 10 mock tests, AI scored, which is a platform that I purchased, which is fundamental for your preparation. And also for my IELTS exam, I have the platform, but I also have all Cambridge exams that have been released since day one. I have all of them, and my students practice over and over and over and over and over again. So I totally agree with you. And by the way, IELTS Essential, whenever you actually book your exam, the mock test that they give you is a short version. It's not the real one. So the reading component is only 22 questions, and in reality is you have 40 questions. So you need to be really careful because you need to know exactly the structure of every single exam. It's super fundamental for your success. Completely, you know, I think the mock tests are fundamental.
Yeah.
What else?
And
What's
how
next?
to know how to interact with the platform as well. Like you can use the highlighting too when you can write notes, and you can again use the technology on your favor. It's just
absolutely.
One of the questions we also have is, what are the skills that I need to develop to take this test? So what do I need to pay attention to when I'm making my choice if I'm taking either PTE or IELTS?
Okay, so I would like to answer that question with, give me a call, send me an inbox, talk to me, because I can totally help you, you know, which exam is ideal for you. You don't need to study with me, guys. But what I'm saying to you is I can actually help you choose the right exam for you. Some people don't need to, you know, they're fantastic. They can study by themselves, which is brilliant. You know, anyway, but I can help you choose the best exam for you, okay? So I think step number one is you need to know which one works for you best. Number two, you also need to know what score do you need. And I know everybody comes to me and says, I want to get a PTE 79. Okay, So if you want to get a PTE 79, this is where you are. This is where you have to reach. So you are pretty much 6 months away from it. Is that what you're looking for? Why don't we get the 65 first? You know, and like what I mean is the time frame, a realistic time frame. But for instance, for certain professions, for example, accountants, you know, for you to become a CPA accountant, again, I don't know if we have any accountants over here, you know, again, they only accept the IELTS academic. Let's be realistic. Today, I had a guy from Brazil get in touch with me. He's an accountant in Brazil, and he was unable to say the word speaking. He said, I'm studying speak, you know, and that's the thing. And he goes, I want to go to Australia and I want to apply. I'm 39 years old. And I said, look, I don't want to shatter your dreams, but I need to be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. So you come to Australia prepared for the battle that you're going to have in front of you, because everybody knows that this is, you know, these exams are part of a battle, like an emotional battle, right? So there's a question here. Do you want to read it, Isabella?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, actually, from Aline again. What's the best technique for the reading part in IELTS? The texts are huge, and it's really challenging to skim and scan the text in so little time. Time management is really important.
Aline, hello. Aline, the reality is, pay attention to this. Focus on the question. That's number one. Find out true, false, not given, for instance. True, false, not given, that is the one that everybody's desperate. They're so scared of it. True, false, not given will follow a sequence in the text. Whenever you find the first answer, so you need to understand what the question, you don't even bother about the text. Go straight to the question, read the question, understand what the question is saying to you, go to the text. Then she's saying skimming and scanning. You're going to straight away, you're going to scan. You're going to go straight away and you're going to find for similar words. You find where the question is, that information, you need to find information. That's scanning. Scanning is you actually reading and looking for the similar words. Boom, you find. The second one will come after that one. So they are not crazy. The questions are not spread all over the text. Some are, but some aren't. So you need to know the technique for each of the questions. Every task has a different technique that you have to use to be able to succeed in that task. So, and coming back to you, in relation to the reading component, you go straight to the question, understand what the question is saying to you, and think, okay, what is this? What does it mean? Oh, I need to find this specific information. Boom, go to the text, scan it. Once you find where that answer is, the next one is going to be down there. So don't worry. And plus, you don't have to read the whole text. You're reading chunks of the text most of the time, unless you are doing the paragraphs. You know, they have the title. You know, the title ones? Yeah. So the list of headings. So what are you going to do with the list of headings in the reading? My suggestion is, if the paragraph is too long, you're going to read the first two lines, the bottom two lines, the first two lines, and the bottom two lines. Why? Because the first two lines usually is the topic sentence. The bottom two lines usually is the link. So reading those two lines will help you understand what the list of headings, which one would best suit that specific paragraph. And don't be afraid of making two, like sometimes you choose two answers. Put two answers down, because as you progress down the text, you will see which one suits best. And there is practice. And they usually
makes perfect.
But usually the first section in the reading academic is easier. The second, because the language becomes more and more complex as you move down the sections. That same happens with the IELTS General as well, which is completely different to the PTE academic. Completely different. You know, completely different, because it's all about...
How does it work with PTE?
Well, you have, for example, fill in the blanks, reading and writing, right? So you're going to have 5 or 6 paragraphs that you have a drop-down box. So there is a blank with a drop-down box, and you have options. 2 options are always completely wrong. They don't match. So you always have to be 50%, which is going to be vocabulary knowledge. The first thing that I do with my students now is I give them a book of collocation. Let's work on collocation, because I prepare people to get 79s. Right? I don't prepare, I mean, I prepared them to get 50s as well, but the intention is to get the highest score you can in the shortest period of time, you know. So I hopefully I answered Aline's question.
Yeah, I think you did. It's so, again, just summarizing it. Don't go trying to read the text linearly. Like, no, don't do that. Go to the question first and then go back to the text. And yeah, I think, and that's what I did. And I was
Exactly.
lucky enough to get a high score. And like, I got a 9 in the reading. So that's exactly what I did.
Brilliant.
Question, text, question.
But you see,
text.
but come on, Isabella, you have the English level. Like
Yeah,
when you were
but
reading
it's also
it.
about the preparation.
I know, but when you were reading the text, when you're reading the answer, when you're reading the question, you knew what you're looking for. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Sometimes the student doesn't even connect. And I have to stop them. Hey, I can see in your eyes. You don't understand what you're reading. Let's talk about this. Don't rush through it. Don't go. You have 20 minutes per section. Don't rush. You know, and Aline, if you have any more questions, just inbox me. I'll gladly help you out. Okay.
Yeah. So Aline asked something really specific about IELTS, the reading. And another question that we get a lot is about the PTE, both the listening and the speaking, because you're in a room full of people who are talking to the computer all at the same time. And we have had a lot of students that got lost. Like, oh, I was trying to concentrate on what I was listening or on what I was going to say, and then I was hearing to what the other person was saying. So what's your tip for them to prepare for this scenario?
Okay, see, this is a good point, because here the original question that you asked me was, is the PTE really much easier than the IELTS? And I would say that that point makes the PTE not be much easier than the IELTS, because whenever you're doing the speaking in the IELTS exam, you're doing with an examiner. And often my students will get 6, 6.5, 7 in the speaking. And though, you know, and other students will struggle to get a 50, which is the IELTS 6. Why? Because the environment of the PTE test is loud. So you need to prepare yourself for that. I'm going to give you tips on how to prepare yourself for that. But I just want to talk about the easy and the hard, right?
Okay.
The other thing, like with when you're doing you have questions in the PTE test, which is repeat sentence. Like repeat sentence, you're going to hear a sentence, you're going to listen to a sentence, and you have to repeat the sentence. For every sentence that you repeat fully, you get 3 points. If you do 75% of the sentence, you get 2. And if you do half the sentence, you get 1. And if you only get a few words, you get nothing. So you put yourself in a room with another, probably, 15 other people. And these people are doing the test at the same time. So you need to focus. And how do you develop concentration? By tip, guys, doing shadowing. So before
I was
you
going to ask you to talk about shadowing.
And shadowing is, and I cannot stop saying this, and I say this to everybody, okay? If you want to be fluent quickly, you need to shadow everything. So for example, right now, you guys should be repeating every single word that I'm saying right now. And as soon as I stop, you should be able to repeat the last 5 words. It shows that you live really listening with attention, right? So whenever you're doing the speaking component, first of all, you need to prepare yourself to know that the room is going to be noisy. So whenever I start my PTE course, I have a neurolinguistic therapist talking to my students how to manage anxiety. That's my lesson number 1. Lesson number 1. PTE, super problematic. Lots of people at the same time. So you need to mind your business. How do you mind your business? I want you, whenever you come, so I'm sitting, right? So they allocate a computer for you. Whenever you sit down, you're going to, but you're going to push yourself forward. If you push yourself forward, there is kind of a petition, and you will stop seeing the other people.
Yeah, so, you lose the peripheral vision.
Yeah. So it's very important that you kind of stay within the box, within your spot. Then the next thing you need to do is, I would strongly suggest that you hold the headphones with your both hands so you can really focus on what you're doing. And as soon as you hold it a little bit in like this, not pressuring, but just to hold a little bit, and actually blocks the sound a bit more. The microphones and the headphones are of excellent quality. You know, as soon as it's really noise canceling. But yes, you have some people that do scream in the exam. And those people that are screaming, they're not going to even get 50. I guarantee you. If you get a tap on your shoulder, you are in trouble. The computer will not assess your English well because you come out of the scale. There is a scale for 200 different accents. But if your voice, if your pitch or your tone is so outside, you get out of that scale. So guys, speak naturally with a nice strong voice, hold the microphone, like the headphones in, and do shadowing. Shadowing is your ability to listen to every single thing and repeat immediately. And if you guys have questions, I have also videos on my Instagram that I teach you how to do shadowing, which is like how to learn English without a teacher. It's one of the exams that I have, one of the posts that I have there. What else, Dali? What else? More questions?
Because we're talking about the speaking, and we now mentioned about speaking for PTE. What are your tips for the IELTS speaking? Because IELTS speaking, you're interacting with the examiner.
Okay. Do you want to know?
So completely different.
Okay. As soon as my student comes in my room, whatever, if we're doing a private or whatever, and I tell them, this is showtime. This is when I go into the IELTS exam, I control the exam. I control the examiner. And for me, it's showtime. So what you're going to imagine is, you're going to imagine that you are actually at a pub with somebody, a boy or girl, whatever, and you want to sound super, super interesting. So you're a super interesting person, and you're going to really be really bubbly, and you're going to really talk about everything you can. And for example, I ask you, Isabella, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is purple, because you're going to think I'm crazy, but because of Twilight, the movie.
Can you ask me? Ask me the same
Michelle,
color.
what's your favorite color?
Oh my God, I gotta tell you, I have so many colors that I really assimilate to, but I would say that nowadays my favorite color is light pink. But when I was younger, I used to love green. But I don't say that, I would say that I prefer light pink because it's a very soft color on my skin and I really enjoy it. But it doesn't mean that I don't like the other colors. So my answer is super complete. And I really go, you know, so I kind of open. So this is like the mentality of showtime. You cannot just answer with one short little answer. What's your favorite color? Blue. You have to kind of engage and go for it and really show the examiner how much English you have. So this is how I deal with my students in the class. You know, expand, 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 expand. And then we work a bit on like, you know, like really, it's all about practice. Obviously, we work with vocabulary and so on, but the innate English has to come out. That personality has to come out. And being bubbly, I would say
it's more of a conversation.
Yes, definitely.
So
but
I really like your idea of the pub thing.
Yeah, but for example, we're going for higher band. Like you got 8.5. I guarantee you that you control the situation. Like you were there and you were really expanding and you were really defending your point of view. When we come to part 3, you know, the debatable points, you really made really good points when you're defending your point of view. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got a 9.5.
Yeah, but she asked me questions as well. Like I would say something and she would like, it was like a conversation, but why do you think that? Like, oh, why don't you think?
No, that's part of the question. Yeah, but that is part of the question. Because usually every question has a why, you know, and if she feels that you didn't really connect with the answer, she would ask you a few more things, you know. But obviously you have good grammar, you have good pronunciation, your accent doesn't interfere with your English. So that's why you were able to get 8.5.
Yeah. So again, practice and yeah. We were mentioning throughout this whole discussions 8, 9, 79s, 50s and all. So how does the scoring work for both exams?
Oh.
Like how do you get the general score and the individual bands?
Okay, so with the IELTS exam, it's very simple, okay? Because with the reading and the listening, it's every answer that is answered correctly, including spelling, is 1 point. And there is a very, like, so they can say, for example, the reading says no more than 3 words. If you put 4 words, you're wrong. And so you need to, so there is a criteria. So 24 over 40 in the listening is a 6. 28 is a 7, 30 is a 7, and then goes on. So it's very simple, straightforward. The speaking and the writing, you have a table, a transcript table that shows exactly how the examiner assesses you. And for the speaking component, your accent will, for you to get an 8, your accent cannot interfere with your language, cannot interfere with the understanding of your answer. When we move on to the PTE, then it's chaos, complete chaos. It's impossible for me to tell the student, I can only give an idea what I think the student is going to be, because every single component in the test matches something else. So for example, in the speaking, the read aloud will count for reading. In the speaking, repeat sentence will count points for listening. In the speaking, answer short questions will count points for the listening component. The listening, the answer, the summarized written spoken text will count points for writing. It's chaotic. So it's really hard for me. I can only give you an idea of what I think you're gonna get. And again, my proficiency test tells me what range, where you are in, you know, and then the probability of your score. But then once you get there, you need to deliver, you know. So if you are really tense, if you're really nervous, if you're getting bothered, the other people are actually listening, you know, talking at the same time, your chances of getting a greater score drops because you felt nervous. But just recently, guys, I want to just bring this to you all as well. I had a student from China, and she got 83 in the speaking. 83. And 83 in the speaking for a Chinese person is a miracle. All she did was to follow my instructions, and Chinese people are very good at being methodical. You know, they're very good at that. And she just followed. She got 83, you know. And I gotta tell you, her English, her spoken English here in my class, any Brazilian with average English was better than hers, you know, is better than hers. And she was able to put into practice the techniques that I tell her, you know, and she did 83. Boom, done.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like giving them what they want to see, not like.
That's the summary. The difference between the IELTS and the PTE is that the PTE, you give them what they want, you get the score, you get the higher band. Obviously, you have to control your anxiety. You have to be able to, you know, feel in control of your emotions. The same with the IELTS. But the IELTS requires more English than the PTE. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
You need to be more.
For the, sorry to interrupt you, but for the PTE as well, I'm not sure if it's in the reading section, but if you choose an option that's wrong, you might lose points for something that you chose that's right. So,
and the solution for this is, for whoever is listening to this live here, I have done the PTE 3 times, okay? The first time I did, I was very serious, and I went, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I got all 90s. Oh, great, okay. Then the second time I did, I started testing different techniques, and then I saw with the reading, so there is a task, and for the listening as well. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. I only chose one answer that I knew was correct. I got 90 as well. So the bottom line here, guys, is that the PTE is not a perfect exam. It's not a perfect exam. Why? Because I have students who get 90s in the speaking, and they are not perfect. They are not perfect. They make mistakes, and they get 90s. So that's where, you know, the PTE made it be accessible for everyone. It's not that PTE is easy. It requires that you study. You need to know how to do the exam fundamentally, you know, and you guys need to follow that instruction. But it is possible to really get a really high band, which if you're going for the IELTS exam, you're going to have to do the whole hula hoop for you to be able to get it. Like I said, the showtime technique that I was saying to you in the beginning, you know? Exactly. Native speakers who don't get 9s in speaking, you know? So guys, please study. Do not give money to these centers because you just decide, I'm just going to go and see. Spend that money on you. 375, do 4 classes with me, and you will pass the exam. You know, you will get the score. True.
Yeah, you have to invest. Yeah, you have to invest on preparation. Otherwise,
Isabella,
you will just be losing money. Yeah.
I found out that this one Japanese guy, he did 35 times.
That's insane.
He was waiting for a
Like
miracle.
he got through all the questions in the database.
Yeah, 35 times for to get a 50. So instead of spending, you know, $1,000, $2,000, prepare yourself, go into the exam once and pass, let's say, you know, just like in the worst case scenario, you know, the guy did 35 times. He threw the money in the bin instead of studying, you know, use the money on you. You know, Cambridge, Pearson, these are, you know, multi-million dollar, you know, companies. You don't need to give them any extra. Spend the money on you, do the test once, put that, you know, the examiner, you know, the exam in your pocket and move on with your life, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. 35 times, please, give me a break.
Yeah,
Insane.
no, it's insane. Yeah.
Not telling you the light.
I feel like that the guy took the exam 35 times, maybe. Yeah, crazy. He probably knew everyone in the center as well. Because we're like running short on time. Do you have any other tips of what kind of reading should they do to get familiarized with the English? Is there any topic that's recurrent in the tests?
Yes. Okay. For the writing, okay. What I want you guys to know here is that there are three types of writing. One is opinion-led. 70% of the PTE questions in the writing exam, they will be opinion-led, which is, do you agree or disagree? So understand, so you need to focus on that. The other one, then 20% of the questions for the PTE will be argument-led. They're not asking your opinion. They want to know advantages, disadvantages, problems, solutions, so on. And 10% will be a mixture, which is argument and do you agree with it? Why am I saying this? Because I use the Pearson platform. I have checked the recurrence of the questions, and this is pretty much it. 70, 30, 10, 70, 20, 10. Moving across to the IELTS, that's a bit different. They do a lot of argument-led questions. Why is this? What's the solution? They don't do the opinion-led often. They do, but it's not as recurrent. I would say that with the IELTS, it would be maybe 30, 30, 30, you know, kind of something like 33, 33, 30. So everything is pretty balanced. The IELTS is pretty balanced, okay? So I strongly suggest people that really want to get a higher band, and I'm talking about higher band, you need to kind of read editorials, you know, editorials, persuasive editorials that they are expressing their point of view. So you can actually build a vocabulary. This is if you're going for the IELTS. If you're going for the PTE, talk to me because it's very easy. I have templates that can show you how to do it and so on. But you need to learn the TU paragraph, which is topic, explain, example, link, how to do that, you know. Now, in relation to the reading, I actually even mentioned that in the previous app, the previous live, there is an app called Flipboard. Flip, F-L-I-P, board, B-O-A-R-D, that they actually have a variety of different topics that are very current. And one of them is about climate change. Climate change is one that you guys need to know the vocabulary about climate change. You need to know the vocabulary about innovation, about robots, AI, all of these topics, they're current in the media. You need to have the vocabulary behind it. You know, because the more you know the words and the more familiar you are, the easier it is for you to develop an essay. And in relation to how can you improve your listening? So there are three techniques that I would like you guys to know, which is the first one, shadowing, which is your ability to repeat, because that will develop the front lobe of, like the concentration part of your brain. That's where information stays stored and also diffuses into your brain. So the shadowing really helps with that. When I was at university, I was telling Alana before, I did also interpreting. And that part of interpreting is your ability to listen in one language and repeat in a separate language. And you do shadowing naturally because you're listening so closely and you're able to repeat at the same time. So this is what shadowing is. So instead of, but you're not going to be translating. You're going to be doing in English, right? And you don't need to vocalize. Can be just like focusing. So this is technique number one. Technique number two is listen, stop, repeat. So you're listening to a text, listen to a sentence, stop, repeat. Don't understand, go back there. Listen to it again until you are able to fully understand the sentence. That is fundamental for you, for the IELTS and also for the PTE. And the third technique is listen, stop, write. Because you need to write down all the words that you don't know how to spell. So for example, usually people don't know how to spell addition. They think it's addiction. They put a C. In addiction.
Which is something different.
Absolutely. But until you point it out, they don't even know that they're writing addiction. Or the word example. People put example with E instead of with the A. So E-X-A, that's the correct answer. Not E-X-E, because example sounds like Portuguese, example, right? Yeah. Another word that a lot of people do not know how to spell is definitely. Definitely has an I, not an A. It's not definitely, it's definitely. Another word, responsible, is not responsible. And I see this over and over and over and over. So you need to know the words that you don't know how to spell, you know, and learn them. Believe, achieve, the I and the E, you know. Need to learn these things, you know. So you need to, like, for example, support, double P. Many people don't know that. So because you see these things often, you kind of develop a list. But you need to recognize what words you don't know as well, you know. And
countable and uncountable as well, like information. I saw, yeah.
Look, I have a student here who just joined. He did IELTS and now he's doing PTE. And I reckon he's loving the PTE. Aren't you, Guy? Anyway, what else, darling?
I'm soon gonna be one too. We're reaching an hour, so we don't have any more time. It was really nice talking to you. I hope you guys have enjoyed and learned something new that you can start doing to be better prepared for taking your examinations. This live is going to be saved. Michelle has lots of content in her Instagram. You can follow her. Just talk to her if you want more private tips and you want to ace your test as well.
Thank you,
thank you, Natalia. Natalia, thank you so much. All these tips are really useful. Yeah.
Awesome, Natalia. Thank you. Look, yeah. And guys, hopefully, I think I was talking to the management from Information Planet. I think we might be doing one live a month as well. So I will bring to you guys my experience with the new PTE as well, because the new PTE has been shortened now. So you know, that's another live that we can talk about. How was the experience? Because everyone is scared of a shorter PTE, and I actually don't know what's going to be how is it going to be. Emerson, thank you so much as well.
Okay.
Yeah, guys.
Okay, so I'm going to yell, otherwise I'm going to lose it.
What's that, honey?
So I think I have to stop because it's just 1 hour and we're going to lose it. Thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.